There's no wick again. No way to light this thing.
No. You guys, there's no wick. Wait, producer Kylie, there's no wick, right? Am I crazy? Where's the thing that I light?
Can you talk to me about your candle?
Oh, yes. I really wanted to bring this to the people. So I have a listener who has a family member that was working at Netflix for many, many years and just left. And I was gifted this gorgeous, as ever. There's no wick. Is that normal?
Are you serious?
Is that the thing?
There's
no wick.
I've had 2 people tell me that there was no wick when they ordered a candle.
There's literally no wick.
Are you kidding?
Oprah loves the marmalade so much. It's a favorite of hers that came across totally organically.
No.
Oh no.
I literally feel my throat closing. Oh my God. Orange marmalade.
Oh no.
Tastes like crap. I actually feel sick.
On Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, purchased a candle from a person he dislikes and received a candle without a wick in it.
You had one job. Put the wick in the candle. We're not selling candles at Walmart. This is a luxury lifestyle brand.
Also, some desperate moves to sell as ever, and reviews coming in as apparently she's selling a candle without a wick.
Will it actually include the packaging? Because I'm hearing rumblings that another candle went out without a wick. Again, you have one job. What's going on with that?
Meghan Markle always says she's known as the smart one and that her whole identity is wrapped up in being smart. We're still waiting to see that. Where is that smart identity? Like, was it smart to leave the royal family to go sell jams, jellies, dog biscuits, and wickless candles? Like, you could be royalty right now.
As ever, in my very personal opinion, is very much a ripoff. And we see this reflected in Meghan's latest pitiful.
Could be Meghan Markle involved with some of these things that have been dumped on.
The scandal didn't start with a courtroom filing or a press release. It started with a flame that never existed, a candle that couldn't burn, a luxury price tag stapled to a lie, and one royal woman who didn't scream, didn't leak, didn't posture. She documented. Because when Duchess Sophie opened that neatly wrapped box, the one sent with all the smug confidence of a lifestyle empire trying to cosplay royalty, she expected serenity, citrus, warmth, prestige. Instead, what sat in her hands was silence. No wick, no flame, just a solid block of wax daring anyone to explain how $64 bought absolutely nothing. And that moment, quiet, humiliating, and deeply insulting, detonated everything. According to sources familiar with the incident, Sophie didn't react theatrically. She didn't call aides into a frenzy. She didn't vent to tabloids. She did something far more dangerous. She behaved like a consumer. She tasted the marmalade and recoiled, sour, chemically bitter, inedible. Then she turned to the candle and froze. Because the candle wasn't broken, it was unfinished. No wick, no accident, no mistake. A pre-drilled hole sat in the wax like a missing tooth. The base of the jar smugly instructed, always trim wick to 1/4 inch. There was no wick to trim. That detail alone, small, damning, undeniable, would become the evidence that burned Meghan Markle's brand to the ground. English, auto-generated, Meg. But Sophie still didn't go public. She contacted the friend who purchased the gift. The friend filed a formal complaint through Meghan Markle's As Ever website. What came back wasn't customer service. It wasn't even indifference. It was an auto-generated response. No human reply, no refund, no replacement, no accountability, just silence. And silence, as it turns out, was the loudest mistake Meghan Markle could have made. Because Sophie wasn't alone. Within days, TikTok began...
There's nothing to light on the candle. This is like Meghan Markle's career. Failure to launch. Oh my God. Wait, I literally, this is not a joke. I ordered Meghan Markle's candle. There's nothing to light. I literally want a refund. Meghan Markle, send me a frickin' refund. So I paid. How much did I pay for this?
Filling with eerily identical videos. Same candle, same missing wick, same confused laughter turning into rage. Reddit threads exploded, screenshots stacked, hashtags formed like a digital firing squad, hashtag wickless scam, hashtag as ever disaster, hashtag royal ripoff. By February 2nd, the internet had done what Meghan's brand never did. Quality control. Over 4.3 million views later, the pattern was undeniable. candles without wicks, marmalade jars described as rancid, fermented, metallic, luxury branding wrapped around non-functional junk. And that's when Meghan Markle reportedly snapped. Instead of issuing an apology, insiders say Meghan reframed the entire mess as an attack, not on her products, on her. She allegedly accused royal insiders of weaponizing the complaint, claimed the backlash was engineered, suggested this was sabotage aimed at destroying an independent woman of color. But the internet wasn't buying it, and neither was the palace. Because while Meghan was busy spiraling privately, Princess Anne was doing something far more lethal, moving quietly, legally, and institutionally. On February 6th, Anne issued a rare internal directive. No dramatics, no names, just clarity. Any brand flirting with royal symbolism without approval was to stop immediately, and Meghan's As Ever packaging had been flirting hard.
Meghan Markle's As Ever product launch has just got mocked by the UK government. Let me explain more.
This candle, right? This As Ever scented candle. And we're in the United Kingdom, so it didn't arrive until after to the United Kingdom. And I saw this and I thought, enjoy. Well, of course I'm not going to enjoy. This is terrible, Alan. And I wasn't even going to mention it because it's like I don't want people to think that I'm putting money into her pockets and all of that. But of course I was intrigued to look at the candle and look at the box. And I known full well what happened with Link Lauren, my friend Link, when he received his As Ever order. Of course, I assumed I'd sorted it out. So you are not going to believe what happened when I opened the box, when I got back. There's no wick again. No way to light this thing. Seriously, look.
Heritage blend, ceremonial lavender, crest-like imagery, royal adjacent language, all without permission. That same day, Anne publicly affirmed Sophie's right to speak not as a duchess, but as a consumer. One devastating sentence reframed the entire scandal. This wasn't family drama, this was defective merchandise. The fallout turned official. Behind palace walls, legal teams prepared filings to protect royal symbols. In America, the damage metastasized. By February 8th, the FTC had logged over 870 complaints against As Ever. Consumers cited defects, denied refunds, and deceptive advertising. 36 buyers banded together with a law firm preparing a class action lawsuit, alleging a calculated scheme to sell overpriced, non-functional goods. Then came the downgrade. The Better Business Bureau slapped As Ever with a D- rating. Pattern of unresolved complaints, repeated product defects, silence from the company. Even Netflix, once Meghan's golden ticket, quietly distanced itself. A former marketing executive revealed As Ever products were stuffed into swag disposal bags. Not promoted, not featured, discarded. The message was brutal. This isn't prestige, it's clutter. Retail analysts didn't mince words either. Repeat purchase rate below 2%. Refund rejection rate over 90%. Consumer watchdogs reported nearly 80% of verified buyers would never purchase again. You're not buying quality, one former customer said. You're buying an illusion. And illusions don't survive receipts. By now,
I ordered the candle. The candle came without a wick. This is not even a stunt. I literally opened it on camera. Her candle that was $64 was not lightable, okay? It was a metaphor for her career. Nothing was igniting, nothing was lighting, there was nothing on the inside. So Meghan Markle, it's actually quite pathetic to see someone fall from grace so hard. Right. Let this be a cautionary tale to so many of the women out there who maybe even look up to Meghan Markle, though I don't know how you would have stumbled upon.
Meghan wasn't just facing online ridicule. She was cornered by 3 converging threats: royal censure, regulatory investigation, and brand collapse, all because of one missing wick. And here's the part Meghan never seemed to grasp. This could have ended quietly. A recall, an apology, a refund, one humble move. Instead, she made it personal. Sources close to the situation say that by February 3rd, Meghan was privately furious. Not embarrassed, not apologetic, furious. She authorized internal messaging that framed the entire controversy as a hostile operation. Friends leaked narratives to US blogs suggesting the royal family had been waiting for her to fail. Then she posted a cryptic Instagram line through a brand-aligned account. The world doesn't need more critics, it needs creators. The internet responded instantly. You forgot the wick. That comment alone went viral. And when the second wave hit, marmalade jars with faulty seals, crystallized sugar, flavors compared unfavorably to supermarket brands, the brand didn't wobble. It cracked. Luxury retailers began pulling products. Emails leaked using phrases like exposure risk and refund fatigue. UK legal teams began scrutinizing packaging language. Buckingham Palace issued a rare clarification distancing the royal family from any commercial activity implied in the media. They didn't say Meghan's name. They didn't have to. Within hours, London PR firms dropped the campaign. Netflix halted all future marketing allocations tied to As Ever, and insiders say Meghan, fully aware of the damage, refused to retreat. Instead, she doubled down. What began as a wickless candle had become a full-blown credibility collapse, and the reckoning was only just beginning. By the time Meghan Markle realized this was no longer a bad PR cycle, the machinery was already moving without her. Courts, regulators, retailers, and royal offices all operating on one brutal conclusion. This brand was radioactive, and there was no spokesperson clever enough to spin wax without a wick. The first real crack came from the money trail. Payment processors don't care about narratives, they care about ratios, refunds versus sales, chargebacks versus trust. And by early February, As Ever had crossed the invisible red line. Over 119 chargebacks had already been filed across major credit card platforms. Stripe flagged the account, Shopify issued warnings. The phrase used internally by risk consultants was chillingly precise. Payment processor death spiral. Once that switch flips, brands don't recover. They disappear. And while Meghan's team stayed silent, the legal world smelled blood. The class action suit moved from rumor to preparation. 36 plaintiffs, multiple states, allegations that cut deep, breach of implied warranty, fraudulent misrepresentation, willful refusal to remedy known defects. One complaint spelled it out in language no PR firm could soften. A candle without a wick is not a candle, it is a deception. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the UK began circling. Gift boutiques in London reported customers returning As Ever candles, wickless, scentless, unusable, demanding refunds under the Consumer Rights Act. Retailers pushed back, citing final sale policies. Lawyers immediately flagged the problem. Final sale doesn't apply to defective goods. And that's when Princess Anne delivered the quietest but most devastating blow of all. A letter, signed, direct, sent to UK regulatory authorities and private retailers. No press theatrics, no interviews, just a line drawn in ink. Any brand invoking royal imagery, symbolism, or implied endorsement without authorization would face formal challenge. Retailers were instructed to suspend sales. Documentation was demanded. Promotional material was ordered withdrawn within 7 business days. Inside palace corridors, the move had a name, Operation Crown Integrity, and it wasn't about Meghan's feelings, it was about precedent. Royal aides confirmed Anne had been watching Meghan's branding for years. The crest-adjacent visuals, the heritage phrasing, the slow creep of royal implication. But as long as the products remained niche, the palace stayed hands-off. The wickless candle changed that, because now there was proof, not just of branding overreach, but of consumer harm, and the fallout was instant. UK distributors pulled inventory. Pre-orders for upcoming candle lines collapsed by over 70% in 48 hours. Wholesale buyers demanded refunds on January shipments. One luxury distributor summarized it coldly: "We sell prestige. This brand is now associated with embarrassment." But the most brutal rejection didn't come from markets. It came from family. Sources confirmed Duchess Sophie refused all private reconciliation attempts. Meghan's outreach, described as panicked, vague, performative, failed to address the core issue. No ownership, no accountability, just spin. Even Prince Edward, usually invisible in public disputes, reportedly supported his wife without hesitation. During an internal family briefing, Meghan's refusal to engage with customer harm was described as incompatible with royal standards. That sentence mattered because it wasn't emotional, it was institutional. At the same time, watchdog groups began raising darker questions. Reports surfaced suggesting Meghan may have attempted to offload defective U.S. inventory into international markets under revised packaging, a move that, if proven, could trigger international commerce violations under post-Brexit disclosure laws. Trade attorneys didn't mince words. That wouldn't be a PR problem. That would be a legal catastrophe. Hollywood, once loud in Meghan's defense, went silent. Oprah didn't comment. Tyler Perry distanced himself. Industry allies stopped returning calls. A former insider described the mood bluntly: "No one wants their name anywhere near this." Vogue UK quietly removed its original feature. Netflix scrubbed internal references. PR firms dropped contracts citing reputational volatility. Inside As Ever, morale collapsed. Contractors resigned. Logistics managers leaked memos describing returns piling up faster than they could be processed. And through it all, Meghan said nothing. No apology, no recall, no statement, just closed gates, shuttered accounts, and a team reportedly fracturing under pressure. By February 8th, the damage had crossed a point of no return. Joint consumer watchdogs in the US and UK issued alerts citing widespread unresolved violations. The FTC confirmed an open investigation into deceptive practices. The UK Advertising Standards Authority opened a parallel file. Then came the palace's final word. a formal statement reaffirming that any commercial use of royal language or imagery without authorization violates long-standing protocol, and urging regulators to proceed with full independence and rigor. It didn't name Meghan. It didn't need to. The meaning was surgical. No protection, no buffering, no neutrality. This wasn't exile by scandal. It was disengagement by design. For Meghan Markle, the implications were devastating. With partnerships severed, legal costs mounting, and merchant accounts under threat, she now faced the possibility of personally funding multi-jurisdictional defenses. Court filings already listed her as primary shareholder of record. Public sentiment cratered. Independent analysis showed a 68% drop in positive engagement within 2 weeks. Fan forums turned cautious. Even loyal supporters admitted fatigue. The narrative had flipped, not misunderstood, not targeted, exposed. And suddenly the brand built on intentional living stood for something else entirely. Intentional avoidance of responsibility. As ever, once pitched as a lifestyle renaissance, became a cautionary tale taught in real time. Luxury without function, prestige without quality, power without accountability. And the cruel irony? This didn't require enemies. No leaks, no conspiracies, no sabotage, just a candle, a missing wick, and a refusal to say, "We're sorry." By the end, there was nothing left to light. The flame was gone. The illusion burned out. And the silence Meghan chose became the loudest verdict of all.